it foggy outside. All the planes have been grounded. Ain't the fire inside? Let's all go stand around it. Funny, I've been there, and you've been here. We ain't had no time to drink that beer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sandman podcast. I am your host, Brian W. Tosh, joined as always by our resident hack checker, Oliver Fullington.
Yo.
Our producer and co-host, El Hilo del Hack, Tyler Fullington. And the man who sleeps through everyone's stories, the hardcore icon. He's got 99 problems, but bananas ain't one. The Sandman hack. How the hell's it going today?
Oh my God. What time is it?
Well, it's...
I'm so tired. I just watched the 7-hour AEW pay-per-view. I needed a nap, guys. Sorry.
It's a lot of wrestling.
That was some long shit.
It was a lot of wrestling, man.
Wow.
You sure you're not tired from this past weekend in New York?
Wow. No.
No?
No. I spent some time with my good friends. Freaking X-Pac, DDP, Kurt Angle.
Oh, Kurt Angle, huh? Yeah.
Friend of the show?
Yeah, friend of the close personal friend? Or, you're a pussy hack. I mean...
Here I am. I'm a puss.
Can I tell a story about DDP from WrestleCon?
Of course.
We've DDP. He's done so many great things in wrestling, and like the work that he's done for like Lex Luger and Scotty Riggs and Butterbean and people. And it's the Sunday of WrestleCon, and I'm with the V-Man. I'm walking back into WrestleCon, and I know you've jokingly said it on the show, Hack or Ollie, like, oh, we should get Hack to get with DDP. So I see DDP, and I hold on. This is a true story. I haven't told you guys this at all. And I stopped DDP. He's walking. I'm with Chris from Vancouver, the V-Man. And I stopped DDP, and I say, DDP, I host Sandman's podcast. I'm a friend of his. I just want to ask, and I'm not saying he wants it, but if he ever did, would you be willing to help Hack? And DDP says to me, you got to help yourself first. And I say, DDP, I don't have a drinking or substance issue or anything like that. And he said, I'm not talking about drinking or substances. And he looks down at my gut. And so I am too fat for Hack to get any help from DDP. That is a true story. I am too fat to get help for Hack from DDP. So I have to... I have to lose like 40 pounds before you can get any help, Hack. That is...
Dude, there's a problem there.
That is amazing, Tosh, that you haven't told anybody that yet.
I haven't told you guys that because I've been waiting to bring it up, and it's been an awkward, funny story from WrestleCon. And at first when he said it, I was like, oh, no, Dallas, I don't have a drinking or substance issue at all.
That's fucking great. That is so great. That is so... I know, but it's so great in his mind, too, that all he cares about is helping people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the great thing about him.
So, all right, I'm going to start getting in the gym because that's a true story. I swear, that's 100% true.
Yeah, so when I sent you guys a picture of me and DDP's fucking Saturday, the first thing Oliver writes is, get his yoga program from him. You need it.
You and me both, boss.
And Hack thought I was kidding.
I know.
No, I'm being serious.
That was even funnier.
I'm being serious, too.
I need it so bad.
Yeah. How was the signing, though? Was it good? Was it a fun time?
But yeah, it is like whatever any signing is. The best part about it is if you're with like friends.
Yeah.
You know, like a little family reunion. A lot of people don't know that DDP was the one that got me my job
in WCW.
Yes, within 48 hours.
That's so cool.
Literally within 48 hours, when I quit Paul and I had a job in WCW.
And that's funny too, because like a lot of the perception was supposedly that Todd was this mole or go-between, and
Well, that
and
was such Paul bullshit.
I know, but in actuality, it was
He
just,
convinced Streamer. He convinced those New York guys that Ty was a mole.
yeah. I mean, that's just
Seriously.
yeah. But for you, the guy the conduit to WCW was Dallas, because he was tight with Scotty, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I was in Atlanta or whatever, whatever reason I was there, probably because of wrestling or whatever. And me and Raven went to DDP's birthday party.
Okay.
And I told you, this week he finally admitted to me how old he is. It was the biggest secret in professional wrestling back in the day. Literally, his best friend in the business, Bigelow, I would ask him, he's like, I don't know. And I know Bigelow knew, you know what I mean? They were boys. But it was the hugest secret back then. So he's like, yeah, I had 15 49th birthdays. He's like, yeah, I'm like 69 years old now. And I just thought that was so cool that he actually freaking finally would admit it. You could ask him back in the day, and he wouldn't tell you. So I'm at DDP's party, and literally me and him got along fucking like brothers immediately. What was his wife's name?
Kimberly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was hot because DDP was spending all his time sitting there bullshitting with me. She came over, freaking like did a little something. He's like, dude, I gotta go for a minute. You know what I mean? So me and him got along like right away at his party. And then that's when I gave him a call, and I was like, yo, dude, I want to, he goes, I said, I want to leave ECW. He goes, you told me at my party you're never leaving ECW ever. I said, well, because Paul, I was supposed to be his highest paid player, and he paid somebody else $1,000 more than me. He goes, okay, and calls me back, I guess. Oh, no, I ended up meeting him in the airport in Salt Lake. We were living in Salt Lake. Those guys were going to Montana that night, and they were flying out of Atlanta, so it was a Delta flight. So Utah, Salt Lake City was the layover. I was going to meet DDP to fly to whatever town they were in Montana. I walked down the stairs, and DDP's standing there with Rick Rude. And he doesn't really know that me and Rick are cool. Rick used to ride with me in my van and shit like that. I said, DDP, I said, I want to talk to you. He goes, all right, do we need to go by ourselves? I'm like, no, Rick can hear this. So I told him right there, I had a plane flight the next day at 9 a.m. and had a contract that like an hour and a half later.
And you just told that on our last episode, if you guys listened to. I was telling that story about signing with WCW and how Todd talked him into taking the deal and not considering anything else. Man, but a lot of people don't know how many dudes actually got contracts because of DDP. Because Dallas wasn't over huge before his like five time. He got over because him and Eric were good buddies. They were neighbors. They lived in the same neighborhood.
And Eric worked there, so those two got like real close. DDP gets a push that he totally deserved. You know what I mean? Because a guy can work his ass off. You know what I mean? So, and then that's the story.
He put the work in too, DDP, to like, he was one of the original guys. He would tape his matches at the shows and then rewatch the videotapes. He would also be known for like seriously, meticulously laying out the matches move by move.
A little bit too much for some people.
Yeah, but that's what he was known for, because in order for him to do the work, like he wanted to make sure it was up to a certain standard. And he got really, really good in like 95, 96 when he started working with like Eddie and Chavo Guerrero.
Oh, I can't believe you just said that. The best match I've ever Chavo and DDP on Monday Night Nitro fucking tore the house down.
Yeah.
It was one of the best matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, he got...
I get goosebumps, actually.
He really, really was... he got to leveled up by the guys he worked in the ring with, and then he did a series with Benoit and Raven, and Macho Man was the guy who really stamped him in 97, 98, his feud with Macho Man. So DDP, shouts out to DDP for all the work that he's done in the business for so many people outside of the business. Even Darby Allin gave him a...
He cares.
You see Darby Allin put up the diamond cutter when he was on top of Everest for DDP?
No, I didn't see the diamond cutter, but...
DDP put Darby Allin in touch with like people to help train for Everest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, you really have to train for that.
Oh, yes.
Or you just, I mean, if you're an athlete, but you got to understand, you're at 26,700 feet or 20, like when you get to El Capitan, a lot of those people have oxygen containers with them.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and you have to...
That's a different type of athlete. Like, just...
Oh,
you
yeah.
can be a really good athlete, but, you know, just have the
It's like
least
being,
amount of oxygen.
being a runner and training at Mile High.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what you want to be. That's where you want to train.
Yeah.
Because it'll be better if you can win there. You can win on at ocean level easily.
Right. My buddy moved to Colorado. The UFC fighter moved to Colorado.
Oh, he
to
did?
train. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of people do that stuff, like for all different types. You know.
Oh, elevation, dude.
Yeah, and when you're climbing Everest too, the climbers will have to climb up and then go down and then climb back up even more because you want to like acclimate your body to the different lengths and everything. So yeah, shouts out to Darby Allin. Shouts out to DDP.
Darby, that's the greatest thing. If you wanted to do that, that's your bucket list. I love that. My bucket list is going to the U.S. Open. Did it, loved it.
There you go.
That's a bucket list for that. That kid probably thought about that his whole freaking life.
Yeah, and he
You know
did
what I mean? It's so cool that he did it.
It is, and it's fucking
It's like
bad.
the coolest thing ever.
It's badass, man. This week on the show, we watched AEW Double or Nothing coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. I thought this was a really, really good crowd, too. They were into it all night. I know you were joking about how long this card was, Hack, but the crowd was super into this show. Super, super into it. The show started off with the Owen Hart tournament final between Mercedes Moné taking on Jamie Hayter. I thought these two had a really, really good match. It was a knockdown, drag-out fight here between these two. There was a couple of big boots. There was a roll-up early. And they were trading like half crabs and then kicking each other and then like reversing that, leg bars. A lot of really stiff kicks and everything. It reminded me a little bit of the one Mercedes match that she had with the Japanese wrestler a couple pay-per-view cycles ago, where she was taking all those stiff kicks.
Yeah, I forget her name.
They were really laying it in here. I thought.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
What with the kicks?
Well, no, the other girl, because this match to me is like, you know, because I really didn't like Mercedes, but until she had a great match against somebody, and then I was like, all right, maybe she is a little bit better. But now I think that Hayter chick's as good as her easily.
Hayter's awesome.
Yeah,
Hayter
that girl's good, and that's why I'm thinking the only time I liked the CEO's matches were when she was with a better worker than her.
I think she works better with somebody who presents themselves as a big opponent, and Jamie does a really good job of that as like wrestling up and forcing Mercedes to like kind of like do Weasley things in the match. Like I really enjoyed both their works in this.
Well, it's like the one that we liked when she had with Chris Statlander. Statlander's a bigger opponent. You know, Statlander being a bigger opponent, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to be. You don't want to be a champion. I mean, I understand that she got like pushed into that role and she's making a shitload of money, but you don't want to be the person that needs to work against a great person for you to have a great match.
Sure.
You don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
That would be like Jerry Lynn holding the belt. When I told you about the best matches Jerry Lynn ever had was with Rob Van Dam. You know what I mean? So you got to be the best one in the ring. You got to be the Will Ospreay in the ring most, like 95% of the time. To me, when you're holding the strap,
I think
not at the beck and whim of the strength of your opponent.
I would agree with maybe the first couple of months of Mercedes, but I think this last 6 to 8 months or so, she's really stepped her game up. And part of that's presentation, part of it's the opponents, part of it's the booking. But I really think
most of it's the opponents, dude. I'm thoroughly convinced.
They were trading the leg bars, and then Monet sent her to the floor.
That was good stuff, though. I mean, it was a little bit like long. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit long, them doing that, like killing like a minute here, a minute there, all those different leg locks. They did all the switches on and stuff. But
that
was just killing time.
I love Statlander too, like catching her feet on the ropes too before she took the spot and stuff. I thought that was like really cool. They went back in the ring, and Mercedes had her in a submission, and then she was working the back. They hit a chin lock, and she powered out of that. And then another Meteora for a 2 count. Hayter kicked her, and then I don't know. It was kind of like clunky a little bit at this point in the match. I feel like I don't know if they weren't on the same page or it was just a little awkward.
No, there was like a minute or two there where there was a spot that was missed, and it took them a little while to get to where they wanted to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
After that, though, I feel like it really got going once Mercedes hit a backstabber, and then Hayter blocked the Moneymaker. She hit her with a huge lariat, and then he did a double down. They were then on the floor, and there was a clothesline off the stairs, and she slipped on the stairs. And, man, I felt so bad, like the pain that she must have felt on her shins to just keep going. She drilled her with that, too.
Yeah.
Like, really drilled her with that clothesline. I was like, oh, my God.
That was stiff.
That was stiff, man. I was like, and I thought to myself, I was like, I was thinking about you, Hack, because I'm like, wrestling's not always pretty and perfect, and sometimes it's just impactful. And I like, I don't know, I like the botch there a little bit, because it's not always going to be perfect. They then went back in the ring, and Monet hit another couple of backstabbers. She went for the bank statement, and then Hayter got out of that, and then there was a backslide for a 2 count. They went up to the top rope. They were teasing a top rope moneymaker, but Mercedes ended up giving her like a senton kind of move. Hayter then went for the lariat. Mercedes rolled her up into a rear naked choke, and the crowd's really coming alive here. Monet rolled her over for a 2 count, and then there was another bank statement, and Hayter got to the ropes on that, and then Monet rolled her over again. There was fighting out of that, a couple of different lariat attempts, and then there was another lariat that was blocked, and Monet went for a tombstone, and Hayter went for a tombstone of her own, and drilled her with the tombstone, and this is my favorite part of the match, was the way that Mercedes sold that tombstone, like her body was crumpled up.
Oh, with her legs folded back?
Dude,
Yeah.
I was like, that is fucking money right there. That was the best.
There's a lot of the guys that do that. That's the new sell right there.
I love it.
That's the new
like,
sell.
But it's like the old sell of The Undertaker. Like, if you go watch, like, old school Undertaker clips when he first came up and was given, like, tombstones, like Coco Beware, like, the guys didn't know how to take it. They would sell it weird. Like, that was, like, that's how it looked to me, at least. I loved it. I thought it was great. That was the 2 count. Could have easily been the finish. There was another lariat, but Monet caught it, reversed it for this weird, like, it was like a DDT and a cradle at the same time. It caught me by surprise for a finish. I really, really liked this match. I thought the crowd was into it.
Did she drop her straight on her head?
Yeah,
kind of.
I was kind of scared when it happened. I was like,
I was kind of supposed to just be a roll
Dropped
up.
her
and
straight
it just,
on her head.
Yeah, it just
It
got
was kind of
messed up.
supposed to be a roll up, but yeah, I was like, oh man, I hope she's all right. But then they re-showed it, and she was like moving. As soon as she got pinned, she kind of like rolled over to the thing. I was like, oh god,
There was a couple moments.
it was tough. Like,
there was a couple moments on this show where I was like, I hope that person's okay.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. The finish
Yeah.
of this match, because some of these bumps people are taking in spots, you're like, oh my god.
and that wasn't even like a big bump. It was like like you said, supposed to be a roll up. It just happened to put it right on her head. Like, I was
Yeah.
fucking scared. I was like, oh.
It was like an. It was like I don't know. I loved it though. Overall, I'm gonna go 4 stars for the match. I really, really liked this work. I thought it was a great opener. And Mercedes sneaks away. I love that she ran up the ramp. It's like she got away. She gets away. So it's like building the heel character for her. And obviously,
Like she stole one.
She stole one, right? It wasn't that she beat Jamie Hayter. It didn't. I think it elevated Jamie Hayter up. So when she finally does get a big win or beat Mercedes, it's going to mean even more.
Hey, it
I
didn't
mean,
hurt
dude,
to
Jamie
hate her.
Hayter was so, like, she was hot before, like, she got injured, and then 15 months off, like,
I know,
long time, man.
and it's
like,
taken her a while to get back to
I mean,
this
the crowd's
level.
still right with her, though. The crowd loves her and everything, so.
And one more thing I want to say about Jamie Hayter. I love her look.
I was just gonna say
It's
the
like
look.
an old school 70s
Yeah.
kind of, like, and she mixes it up with it. She's good.
It's not that she's attractive. It's different from what you see from a lot of women's presentation. So I like the fact that she's different, and I really enjoy this match. I'm going 4 stars. What do you give it, Ollie?
Yeah, I gotta give a 4 too. I mean, I think this match went 21 minutes, 17 seconds. I think the first 10 minutes of it were kind of slow, and then the last 10 were, like, great.
Yeah.
And the crowd was really, really with it. I mean, if it wasn't such, like, as slow in the beginning, I probably would have given it a 5.
I really, really love like the last part of it.
But yeah, I mean, Jamie Hayter, best clothesline in the game. Yeah, it's 4 stars for me.
Hack?
All right, I'll go through my notes here. The Terry Funk when Hayter goes out, she's got her feet tied in
I
the
put that
ropes.
over. Yeah, she got her feet stuck
And
on the ropes.
That was freaking great. Oh, also the super kick lariat spot by Hayter.
Awesome.
To the super, that was, I went, oh. I mean, for me to do that, I think it hit. But there was other parts of the match that it just looked like a dance. You know, there was slower parts where like, let me do this, let me do that. Finish drop on the head. That's all I had.
What do you give it as a star?
Oh, dude, it was a really good match. I'd 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Okay, Ty.
I pretty much agree with everything Ali said as far as like the match construction about the first like however many minutes, first half of it pretty slow. Then the second half, I liked it even more. It picked up. Touch long for me, and that's kind of a theme in this show for me. I felt like a lot of these matches were way too long, and we'll go over them obviously. But yeah, 3.5 stars. Really good match. Just a little like I said, touch long for me. A couple little things here and there, but really good work from both of them.
Ty, that's a great point, but why are they doing so? Is it a rating thing or something? Why would you do a pay-per-view that's this long?
I don't know. It was what, 10 matches, right?
No, I think it was 7 or 8. I think
it's 10.
I think it was less matches than they usually do.
You got that right there?
No, I got it.
9?
Okay. Yeah, I think you could have shaved probably 2 of these off at least. But as far as why they go so long, Hack, I do think part of it is to give you your money's worth for what you pay for. The fact that you're paying for these pay-per-views and it's not on a service you might subscribe
but does somebody go to a pay-per-view and buy a ticket for $75 and say, oh, well, I got 235 minutes for my $75.
I mean, look, if you ask me, would I rather purchase a ticket and go to an AEW pay-per-view or another wrestling company's pay-per-view? I know with an AEW pay-per-view purchase, you're going to see a level of quality and an amount of matches that, like, I'm not going to feel like I'm ripped off at any point. But there's also too much ice cream. Like, you get a tummy ache,
I think that there's too many people in the company they're giving too much time to. Like, Mercedes is a TBS champion. Or are you going to tell her that she can't go 21 minutes? Kenny Omega and whatever who's getting, are you going to tell them they can't do that many minutes? Whoever, Will Ospreay and Hangman, you're going to tell them they don't get, who's calling the shit? Like, that, if that match was, a lot of these matches were 5 minutes. If you just knocked
They
like
just
4
were.
or 5 minutes off of
Every fucking match.
yeah, I think the matches would be better and it would be more like well timed, I guess.
There's
you
a
know what
tighter-
I'm saying? Like they're like
there's tighter. I also think that AEW has a lot of I wouldn't say it's like a Japanese influence, but like a longer is not.
Well, I would after we talk about the run-ins later.
Yeah, but I think going longer is not always an issue for them. Like they're not up against like the standard of like it's got to be pay-per-views 3 hours long.
No, I'm just talking from a pure fan enjoy. Like there's moments in that match where a lot of these other matches we're going to talk about, I'm like, okay, time to go home. Like, not everybody needs 20 to 25 minutes. It's just, like, kind of like my thing, where it's like, hey, time. And even some of, like, when it got to some of the Ospreay and Hangman, I was like, when we're going home.
I'm begging.
Like you guys can't do much more. Like,
Begging
just
for
kind of
the
like
finish.
that a little bit.
Did you give a star for this again? I forget.
3.5.
3.5. Okay.
Yep.
And to your point about going like too long, too much, is our next match. FTR taking on Danny Garcia and your boy Nigel McGuinness. Ty. I thought he had a great match in this for what he could do, and
Team America World Police vomit worthy.
this match went 25 minutes. This match was way too. How long did this one go?
23.
23 minutes.
23 and a half.
To
That's
me,
like 13 minutes way too long.
I agree. And I know what they're trying to do in this match, which is FTR is newly heel from the last pay-per-view. You want FTR to get over as a heel act. I don't think you did anything in this match that you could not have accomplished within 13 minutes.
Right.
So this match, to me, in terms of the match length and probably the 6-man cool down match later, and maybe like if you took a little bit off Hangman and Ospreay, like those are matches where I'm like, yes, you could see time shaved off of them. And this match,
Same with the Anarchy in the Arena too. I think
it went a little. We'll get to that. I think it went like 40 minutes. That was
We'll see.
yeah. Like this match though, I feel like I know you want to get FTR over as a heel act as you can. And I think there's so much better cast as heels than faces. Like, this is the version of FTR that they should be. I like Danny Garcia. I like Nigel. I liked a lot of work in this match, but this went way too long to me.
yeah, and maybe I'm casting a spell on like Mercedes match and the other one because like this literally felt like it was an hour long. Like
just 2 matches in.
yeah. I was like, holy shit, man! Like.
I liked it though, this match, but I didn't love it. But again, I think it went a little too long. So the story you're telling here is Nigel sticking up for Tony Schiavone because FTR has been hack you poo that. You don't like that?
I don't know. It just seems like they're running with a McAfee and
I was going to say the
what's his
McAfee
name
Michael Cole
angle,
thing.
You know?
Oh,
I
okay.
was waiting for Tony to get choked the fuck out. I really was.
That would be something.
I know, but I really was.
Tony-
I'm like, they're going to really recreate that angle?
No, they're not going to do anything like that. They can't do anything with Tony.
When you ever seen Tony Schiavone in 150 years of announcing ever get out of his chair and go tend to a wrestler? Not once ever.
Well, it's his broadcast partner and his friend.
That's not the point.
That's Michael Cole telling Gunther to pin McAfee already.
Yeah. This match, Nigel finally came in the ring after Garcia tagged him in, and he was doing some of his stuff, a lot of chops with Dax and everything.
Always.
There's great chops, though. Great punches from Dax, too. He's got a great punch.
Dax is awesome.
Dax is great. That was really
I know,
fun.
but I just can't watch him do it anymore.
You're over it.
You know, they're all. It's like those dudes are on every week in a 6-man or something doing 187 spots.
Yeah, you're just kind of overset. Not that it's not good. It's just you're just
Right.
oversaturated with it.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're great. Fucking the bald dude's great.
I didn't think this was too spotty, though. I thought this was more like work.
It was more than what they're typical. It was more storytelling than spotty than what they typically
Well, because
do.
they had a story to tell.
Well, and
because
their
they're
heels-
trying to
and their
change
heels did
him.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure if that got over at the end either.
Oh,
Because to me, they're all right. To me, those guys are at the strength of their opponent,
FTR?
FTR.
I think they're bringing people up to it, too. I
now,
disagree.
are they heels with the black guys?
The Hurt Business? Absolutely. Yes.
They're heels.
FTR is straight heel, I think.
All right. Who else? What are
Young Bucks.
Young Bucks are heels, so they're not going to match them up right now. But
Okay, but what I'm just saying is that it's the strength of your opponent. When I give you Young Bucks and you say they would never do that, well, there's a reason why. Because the strength of the opponent.
well, we've also seen FTR and the Young Bucks a bunch over
Have
the years.
great
Like,
matches.
Like
we've also seen them have
zillions of
great
great
matches.
matches,
Yes.
honestly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I don't
but,
think he's talking about the
but my
work
point is
itself,
FTR is
just-
so good. If you put them against weak babies, they're going to be the babies. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not like the work itself, like the.
No, it's
But
weak babies.
I think that, to your point though about that hack with weak babies, like if you're an established act like FTR and you've been on television for over a decade and fans are familiar with you, they're probably going to be more likely to respond to some of your high spots and cheer for you. So I think that they have to go into like more of like a heelish like work in order to get there.
Less spots, more eye raking. You know what I'm saying?
Just
Maybe.
more
Is that right? You know what I
more
mean? Is it,
beatdown
is it
stuff.
less? Is it really less? How do you become more of a heel?
I mean, yeah, you do some
Cheat
stuff
more.
You
Well,
cheat more, hold.
no, nobody cares about cheating. It happens every second in every freaking match. Cheating does not matter at all. That it doesn't equate. Do they got to get a sledgehammer out and break somebody's ankle with the sledgehammer?
Well, they did the thing with Edge where they.
Yeah, they laid
Oh
that
yeah,
edge.
the chair shit.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
all right.
so they
yes,
did that.
was
Yeah.
good.
And I
All
think
right, that was good.
And I think what they're building up to, again, if I guessed this back when we did Dynasty, was that I think it is going to be FTR, Cope, and Christian eventually. Like, I think that's the direction.
Yeah.
Oh, FDR against Cope and
Christian.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. That's just kind of where I think
And
it's
they're
gonna
big
go.
enough babies. If Christian and Cope get back together, like, that
absolutely.
would be like super baby.
Yeah, they haven't,
Right.
they haven't been
Yeah.
together in 25 years.
Yeah, that's like super baby.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? This match, though, like, there was a lot of stuff, a lot of spots, a bunch of Tower of London teases. Cash broke up a shatter machine, and they were slugging it out. And then there was Stokely ran in to save. And then on the floor, there was a brawl. And then I love the spot where Nigel forced Cash to apologize. He has him, like, fish hook. And he's making him apologize to Tony in front of the announcer table. I thought that was a really good
And then he came back and said his fingers were crossed.
Yes!
You know what I mean? That was actually hilarious.
That was the best spot of the match. I love that. Tom.
Yeah, that was actually hilarious.
That was so
he was like, I didn't mean it. I had my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
that
was
was
funny.
fucking great. Oh, that was great. And then back in the ring, Garcia went for. I didn't like the rolling superplexes. As impressive as it is,
That's like one of my only. I mean, because I'm watching this match and I'm like, I'm not writing a lot of notes. The only note I wrote was the Three Amigos superplexes.
I mean, it's a very impressive spot. But my thought with that is, if you're doing it and you make one mean less by doing three. It's the same thing as like the super kick spamming.
Everybody's doing three of everything. Did you notice they did three? That was like the third three of something.
I know.
Of somebody's finishes in the match.
And I'm not saying I necessarily like that. I think when you
no, I don't either.
You water it down. You water it down. You water it down. So like a superplex already doesn't mean a lot. So now if you do it till you have to do three to get a reaction that one could have got. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Well, once he did the one, then he went to the two. The crowd went like this.
They did, but
because they were expecting a third.
And then you cut off the
for
third
a second, and then you get back to it like they did.
And that's the
so you suck them in and suck them out.
And that's match number 2, and you're doing that right after Mercedes just did the Three Amigos, and that's her move.
Yeah.
And your match 2, and you're copying that right after the very opening match.
Not only that, but you're upping the stakes of it. So you're saying like that the regular Three Amigos don't mean shit now because that's even to do it the superplex way.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you're doing the Three Amigos in back-to-back matches. Watch the match in front of you, man.
Yeah,
like
agree totally.
No, I'm with you. They did an FTR. There was a shatter machine on the floor to take out Nigel, and this is when Tony came out. And
dude,
he was,
what the frick is the shatter machine?
it's like the
FTR's
3D,
finish.
but the knees to the face instead of
okay.
like the RKO. It's the
Yeah.
knees to the face. Yeah.
and that made Tony check on him. And then Danny Garcia was fighting off FTR by himself. Dax hit him with a pile driver. He kicked out of that. Then they hit a stuffed pile driver, which he kicked out. And then he made the ropes on that one. He didn't kick out of that one. And then this to me was interesting. He passed out from a sharpshooter, which I've seen Bret Hart do to some guys before. But sharpshooter to me, like passed out to me, should be like a choke kind of move.
Yes, it does not pass. Yes.
So the amount of pain that you would, and again, it's wrestling, and I know what the story they're trying to tell is Danny Garcia is, he's so tough he didn't tap out here, right?
But just choke him.
Just choke him out there.
Well, yeah, it's like you don't want a guy fucking passing out from a figure four.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it would make you pass out.
Right.
It might break your leg.
I know, you're not passing out from that much pain.
Right. And it's wrestling. Again, I'm getting...
I know.
I don't want to get angry about it. I'm not angry about it, but I just don't think sharpshooter should equal pass out. That's all. Yeah. As a match, though, even though I think this went too long, I still enjoyed it. This is a 3-star match.
I think
easy.
you conveniently neglected the butchering Nigel had, where Dax had to throw him out of the way so he could hit his own partner on the double down clothesline.
Oh, yeah, he was a little tripped up in spots. I got to give you some Ring of Honor and IWA Mid-South tie, because you were, maybe I'm just like romanticizing Nigel because I loved his work so much. The guy could work his ass off back in the day. He was a hell of a fucking wrestler. And
absolutely.
I love Nigel McGuinness, and I know I'm...
Absolutely.
I don't know him from back then. I know him from now. And he's the drizzling
You're
shit.
judging him off these 3 matches he's had. He hadn't wrestled in 15 years.
That's how we do it.
Okay.
That's all I have to go off.
I'm giving this 3 stars, though. Danny Garcia had a really nice performance than I thought, and FTR's heels, they're so much better off his heels. Ollie?
2.75 for me. Good match, solid work. Just too long, man.
Yeah.
It's just you can just do all of this in 12 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Hack.
I half-assed watched this because, dude, FTR just. I'm like, I know they're gonna do
just
8 million
oversaturated.
spots. I just know they are. So
But next time they pop up, watch because they're super heel now, so they might not be doing as many spots. So next time they pop up, you might like it more.
yeah, but I don't know. I can't even give it a rating because it turned off in my head when I saw the match.
Like me with McIntyre and Priest.
I'm just like done.
Okay.
Can't do this with these dudes anymore.
Abstaining from rating this one. All right. Ty, what do you give it?
I'm gonna go with a 1 just for Dax.
All right. Next up on the show here, this match, I think on a lot of shows, I think this would be the fucking best match of the night. I love this match so fucking much. The stretcher match between Ricochet and Mark Briscoe. My God, what an unexpected classic this was. I love this. We always put over Mark Briscoe, but I want to say something about Ricochet here. Ricochet left New York, and New York is known for the spot where you can become a character, where you can build a persona. It might not be known for all of the work rate and the shooting stars and the 450s. Well, Ricochet left New York to go to AEW, and he has developed a heel persona that I never thought he had in him. The things he was doing in this match and that he's been doing over the last 6 months.
Strength of opponent.
How's that?
Because was it what they were working him against Ospreay, weren't they?
And he was great.
I know, but that's my point. You're going to be a heel if you work him against huge babies.
No, Hack, what he's doing as a
doing
heel,
really good work.
what he's doing as a heel
I get that.
is not just the work. It's the other. It's not just the opponent. It's the work he's doing. When he took the table out and instead of propping the table up to do a spot, putting it back and saying "fuck you" to the fans, I'm taking away what you want to see. He's doing things to get those responses from the audience, and he's playing into the character that he is now and that he's developed. That I didn't think he had it in him. I knew he could do 5-star matches. I knew he could do every top rope move in the business and hit it perfectly. But I didn't know he could do heel shtick. Like, I didn't know he had that in him. Did you see that, Ollie? That he had persona?
I don't know. I mean, I hate to say, like, I didn't because he never got that opportunity in WWE.
Yep.
He didn't really have a character
Right.
in WWE. So,
But that's usually the place that builds those characters.
yeah,
It gives
but
you
I
the
mean,
character.
But I totally agree with you as far as like how good it's been, and like especially like the promos that he's done or anything like that. Like if you see it, like he's really, really good right now.
He's one of my favorite heels in the business. He might be my favorite heel in the business right now. And I didn't think I would say that about Ricochet. I like, honestly, like, I knew he could do everything he could do. I'd seen him have classic wrestling matches, but the other stuff that makes a great wrestling match, I just didn't.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you see Dean Malenko being a heel.
Not really, but yeah.
It's
Like,
kind of exactly like
And
that.
also too, I'm like,
His promos are the shit still.
and I couldn't remember when the last time I've seen a stretcher match.
probably when we did.
So I'm like, all right, this is interesting for Ricochet. Let's see what he does in a stretcher match.
What you can do with this gimmick that is pretty limited of a gimmick match, it's taking a guy on a stretcher and stuffing him in an ambulance.
What
Like,
do you mean limited?
I mean, it's not. You're not getting like a lot of near falls by like almost pushing a guy in a. You know what I mean? You're not getting the reactions of.
Yeah, I guess, but to me, it's fucking. It's like going. I don't know. It's like going. It's like going to the going to like a county fair and going on the teacups compared to going on the thing that spins so fast that you're
Gravitron?
Yeah. That's exactly how I see it.
Okay. The other thing I want to really put over here with Mark Briscoe is the crowd's chanting bald, bald, bald at Ricochet. The fact that he has grown in his hair.
Greatest spot this year of all time.
Oh, God.
It's-
Are you talking about the Windex spot?
Oh my God, that was so great.
The sell that Ricochet does of the Windex.
Unbelievable.
And he's in the ropes. He's laying in the ropes. And his lips and the Windex coming off of him. The fact that he put it
Just
over.
so you know, it wasn't Windex.
Well, I'm sure it
It was
wasn't.
probably green Gatorade.
No, we're just saying.
I know, but he's saying Windex.
Are you
I don't
telling
want
me-
fans to think that you believe that it was actually Windex.
Wait, are you
Well,
telling-
did you want him to say what? The faux green Gatorade that he sprayed his head with? No, the window. We all
Yes.
assumed it was Windex.
Are you telling me that ether was fake too, Al?
One time, it was for real.
They used real
back
ether
in the day. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The whole crowd could smell it. There's a difference.
Okay. But that cell was fucking
phenomenal spot.
phenomenal
And the
spot.
fact that Ricochet has got heat on himself with the bald thing,
Yeah.
like,
It's great.
people had signs. There was multiple signs that just said bald. There was a bald guy holding a bald sign for Ricochet. Yeah.
I said
Oh, wait a minute. Is that something that none of us knew?
No,
Like,
I knew it. It's like
I didn't
like
know that.
Yeah.
the fans chanted at him like every match.
Oh yeah.
Bald.
Yeah.
That's fuck. I didn't know he had that.
Yo, yeah, they've been
Yeah.
chanting
I
bald
mean,
at
I
him.
watched him in the match.
Yeah, there was multiple signs that just said bald on it. People had like, it was hilarious.
I said on Twitter,
They could have done even more than they did.
Yeah.
Easily.
I
could have done 3 minutes on that.
I said,
Easy.
I said on Twitter, I really want Ricochet to grow out his horseshoe hairline and say, I'm not bald, I have 42% of my hairline.
Yeah.
Like, really, really start to
Just
play.
go with, just take it there, yeah.
I'm not bald. I have
blame
40
it on hair plants.
Yeah, there you
Say
go.
they're hair plants, not just like real hair.
Yeah.
Or get like one like fucking kid.
Like alfalfa?
He should just come out with a tube next time he comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh my god.
He should
And do a whole match with
somebody
that thing on.
peeling it off.
Little did you know that wasn't Windex, it was Miracle Grow. Boom. That's why he grew so fast.
They
He's
should-
got a tube on, like,
They should do
dude, him with the that's the oh my god,
like
that's
the
so
clearest-
Vince Russo.
but it would be great.
and like
I
the
know.
clearest, worst tube ever. Like, it's gotta be so obvious.
Of course.
Like,
like a yarmulke on the top of his head.
Two-pad would be great, but I also want to make sure, too, I would love to do, instead of a hair versus hair, you have the one guy put up his hair, and you have Ricochet would be forced into growing out his hair. If he loses the
That's
match.
horrifying.
That's
That
like
would be
There's
awesome.
no payoff.
Sure is. You get to
It's going to
change.
take you fucking 6 months to see the payoff
Every
of
week,
growing out his
every
hair.
week you can see him grow out the
Your
hairline.
hair's growing.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Oh god, the work in this.
Haircut.
Yeah, dude, all of it's great.
People be bringing barber scissors to the. Dude, they could do so much with that.
All right, so this match though, man, oh man, Mark Briscoe, the cut that he opens up is a gusher.
Straight
he
fucking
was
geyser.
leaking.
Oh my god, he's busted open. And then he was wheeled over to the ambulance, but he put a crutch in there to stop the doors from closing.
That was great.
Which I love that. And then he fought back. He used a fire extinguisher. So
Dude, him
great.
coming out of the ambulance like
Took that right out of my book.
Yeah, I love that. They went back in the ring. He hits him with a lariat and a J driller, and he sets up the table and he's going for the froggy bow. And man, when he was on that top turnbuckle, I got nervous for him for a second because he was still like getting his footing, and he's just leaking blood, like so much blood while he's
I
climbing.
know the table wasn't close.
No.
either.
It wasn't close, and man, he drilled him with that froggy bow. Like that was
that was good.
that's a highlight reel spot right there, man. You put-
Ricochet's so on it too. Was so
I know.
good on it.
It
Like,
was
the best
great.
part, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
They fight up to the ramp, and then Ricochet finds his scissors and he just stabs him right in the face. And then
Which wasn't even needed, which was probably they're thinking that, all right, this is for the kid to get more juice, but he had so much juice he didn't need it anymore.
yeah, and then he goes up. He stole them, and then Ricochet found a second pair of scissors. He stabbed him again, kicked him in the nuts, hits him with his finish, and then he loads him into the ambulance. He closes the door. I thought that this was an absolutely fantastic, out of nowhere brawl. Like I thought this match would be fun. I always loved Mark Briscoe, but this match was fucking great. Like I absolutely love this. I'm going the full 5 stars for this. Like I loved it, man. I absolutely love this.
dude, I mean, I was like taking notes on my phone, like I usually do, like for a match, and all I wrote was 5 stars on it. Like I was just like, this match, like, dude, from everything, like Ricochet selling the whole match, like was so good. Like the missed shooting star, like off the apron on the, like great spot.
Great
like,
spot.
him running back to the ambulance and just diving in it like
early.
Just such a geeky like heel run. Like, dude, he's killing it right now. They both did awesome, so I'm giving it 5.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you at all. I absolutely. Ty, what do you give the match?
Yeah, I was thoroughly entertained throughout the entire thing. The work that they did, it was great, and the best part about it is like they really didn't do anything in the ring, other than like the Windex spot or like what like it was like all shit out, and it didn't get like too. It was never like too like hardcore-y or too like because like if you don't even go into the ring once, like it could probably get like. Not boring, but like how much can you really do? And they kept coming up with spots.
Well, because you're alienating a lot of the fans from the match when you're down there that low.
Right, but they kept coming up with spots like that were like different and new, and the Miz, like you said, all of that.
And the crowd was super into it.
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
I know what you're saying. Like, if you give a match to the fans where it's not in the ring and they're that invested, that's saying something.
Right, 100%. Like, I was thoroughly entertained, like, the whole entire time. So, yeah, 5 for me.
Hack, what do you give the match?
All right, I'll give you my notes. And we've all talked about them. The shooting star onto the stretcher was really good.
Yeah.
The shine in the head spot, crutch in the door, and the fire extinguisher. I gotta love the fire extinguisher.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Yeah, this match is an 11.
An 11, yeah. I mean,
just because of the blood that was
God.
left.
Mark Briscoe.
Dude, you could just see the
Dude,
drops
he was leaking
on
on
the
the
mat.
table.
He was.
Like setting up the
you
table.
just see it everywhere. Dude, I've never leaked like that.
Two more things. I want to shout out. There was one shot at the end of the match where you see the scissors and a pool of blood. It was one
Great shot.
It was one of the best camera cuts I've seen AEW ever do.
Great shot.
Whoever produced that shot, got that shot, deserves a raise because that was fucking money. And I also want to put over the Sabu tribute spot that Mark Briscoe did. I thought that was great. He's going for the I don't know if he's going for a triple jump or whatever, and Ricochet just throws a chair right at him, and it was like, that's for Sabu, man. I was like, that's fucking great, dude. Absolutely love this. I thought it was fantastic, man. And not that I didn't expect this match to be fun. I just didn't expect me to blow me away like it did, and this did.
I like the way that they also... It wouldn't even been better if they had a third stretcher out there. But I liked it, like in the beginning, I'm like, why is the fucking stretcher so close to the back of the ambulance?
I was thinking that too.
And then we find out that there's another one up by the ring. But maybe another third one could have made it a little bit more dynamic. But with the shit, I just love Briscoe.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just fucking love that dude's work.
Yeah. And then I know we talked about it last week as like dream Sabu matches when we did our Sabu tribute.
Oh, so that tag.
Well, Ollie shared the tag between he saw on Twitter was the Sanjay Dutt and Sabu versus Mark and Jay. And my God, that match! I would love to watch the full match because I just watched the 2-minute Twitter clip you said. I was just like, oh my God,
wow,
fucking great, man! And
I mean, the Briscoes were freaking like them and who's the other kids? The
who?
AEW
Young Bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, the Briscoes.
Like those guys, like kind of like to me in the business. Maybe they weren't working in the same spots, but they were like the two young, hot teams on the planet.
Yeah, and the Briscoes, man. Shouts out to Mark Briscoe, dude. Fucking legend, man. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, he's great.
Up next on the show was the AEW World Tag Team title match between the Hurt Syndicate and the Sons of Texas. So I really am enjoying the TV with MJF has been trying to join the Hurt Syndicate. I think it's been very entertaining, the angles they've been doing. I love it. I think it's really entertaining. I've been a big fan of it. But I think part of the problem with the Hurt Syndicate is you haven't found the right dance partners for them yet. And the other thing I didn't care for this...
There is none.
Well, maybe that's true. I don't know.
Bobby's limited.
Maybe, but I think somebody out there could work with them. I want to see what happens next, but I didn't like the fact that they put Dustin and Sammy in here as the Ring of Honor tag champions. And I know MVP mentioned it on commentary at one point where he's like they didn't want to put them up, but like, why are you having a match with the other tag team champions and it's not for both belts? Like I thought that was kind of awkward with
it doesn't make any sense.
The booking of it. And this match to me was clunky and just not there. I did not really care for this work, and I don't know. I like every time Dustin and Sammy try to make a comeback.
Tell us exactly what you didn't care about. Come on, get specific.
What specifically I didn't care
Yes.
about? I
From the Hurt Syndicate.
Oh,
I know you're
it's
not talking about the other team.
I am actually talking about the other team. I don't think they had any credibility as an act to be in
Not
there.
the point.
Yeah, it
you
is.
said the work was the shits.
Yeah, and I think Sammy.
Okay, where was the work the shits?
Sammy was not. The crowd was nowhere for any of the near falls that the Sons of Texas were doing. Dustin, when he busts out that code red, that's usually a big pop for a near fall, and it got crickets. Everything Sammy did in the match, where I've seen Sammy hit his high spots, and I know he hasn't been featured on TV a ton. Nobody thought for 1 second that team was going to beat that team.
All right, well, that's freaking half the matches that we watch. You know what I mean?
Well, it's also the booking. I don't think the Sons of Texas are a credible enough team to be in there with the Hurt Syndicate, and I also think
they were way more over as heels. Strength of opponents. The Hurts, they were getting pops. They weren't getting booed.
even when Dustin hit,
and they weren't even with Dustin that much.
Even when Dustin hit Shattered Dreams,
Right.
the crowd barely went up for it.
Shattered Dreams
That's where he kicks him in the nuts in the corner. That didn't even get a reaction. So like, and again, Lashley was kind of clunky a little bit, and just I don't know.
And Sheldon is the freaking most underrated wrestler in professional wrestling right now.
Yeah, the finish itself.
That kid is great.
Sammy was making a comeback on Lashley, but nobody really believed it in the building.
Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Nobody for a comeback late in the match.
At all.
How long did this one go, Ollie? Like 15 minutes too? I feel like it went too long.
Like
12 and a half.
12.
Felt like 40.
Okay.
It really did. Felt like 40.
It went too long. Bobby speared him, and then Shelton got a 2 count on that. Dustin made a save, and then MJF went after Dustin, and this is where they were kind of putting over the fact that like Bobby didn't want him to help, but then he speared Dustin through the railing himself, and then Sammy went for a dive, which was weird. The dive cut off there. Something happened there.
I think Shelton was late.
I think he was too. I think it was just hitchy there
because Sammy kind of like had stopped himself,
right.
And it was just
there was a hitch there.
Yeah.
It's a poorly designed spot. It's hard to be on time on that spot because he's not going to stand on the apron while Sammy's running to it because he clearly would see him. So he's got to hit the ropes, turn around, be full speed, and then Sheldon's got to get up on the apron and cut him off.
Great point, Ty.
It's a failed spot setup. You know, that's really hard to execute.
Yeah, unless you're like just staying on the floor and like just gonna hit him from the floor.
You can't go from the apron. You know, you can't.
Great point, Ty.
Yeah. And then there was a super kick after that. That was the finish. This was a mess. I did not care for this match. I'm going to go 1 star for it.
Do you think it should have been a squash?
Yeah, I do.
Like a 5-minute squash?
You can't squash the Ring of Honor tag champ.
Give Dustin
So you shouldn't have booked the match. I agree with you, Todd.
Right.
Yeah. It
so
should have
like
been different opponents for the Hurt Syndicate.
Right,
here.
so you're fucked.
Right.
Yeah,
I think you
you're
booked
fucked.
yourself into a
Yeah,
corner.
you know what? The more I think about it, the more you're right. Because why would you let them go out there in that position to lose to those guys?
I think because you
that's a total screw up.
But I think you trust Dustin. You know Dustin's a hell of a hand, and he's comfortable with Bobby and Shelton.
And Dustin looked great.
He did.
I mean, I don't know how old he is, but I got to hand it to him.
He's still delivering.
Because he's been in the woods, sometimes in his life. Like, I'm still in the woods, but, dude, I love it just seeing Dustin out there taking the big bumps off the top rope and shit like that. You know, that's good.
Oh, no, I love the natural Dustin Rhodes. Like, he's an all-timer in my book. Like, and this match just wasn't it, right? And I don't think they've been featured to be a credible opponent for the Hurt Syndicate. And I don't know who that opponent for the Hurt Syndicate is yet, but we haven't found it.
Heel FTR.
Heel FTR could be. Absolutely, Ollie.
Because the Hurt Syndicate is basically babyface right now.
They are. They are. So I don't know where it's going.
Oh, dude, they go straight to the moon, baby face against FTR right now.
I mean, when the crowd's singing your music coming out, you're a baby face.
I don't know
how they got that over.
Maybe not.
And then they should just have him get rid of MJF somehow.
I don't even know what the hell. Why the hell is he even in this crap? To where, like, here, take the ring.
They need to do something with him right now.
Yeah.
No, you don't. I think it's better not to do a goddamn thing with him than do what they did with him.
I like it.
Honestly.
It's been entertaining TV.
Why would MJF want to join that faction? Think about that.
Because MVP is a good manager. He wants to be associated.
MJF isn't the manager type of personality to
I
me.
know he's going to turn
the point.
against them
He's
at
the
some
manager.
point.
That's the point.
The point of
No,
the angle.
he's the manager.
The point of the angle, Hack, is that MJF's going to turn on them at some point, but they're going to turn on him first. Like, I think that's where it's going, and they're going to get a huge pop
That's horrible.
when they realize what a scumbag MJF is. That's where it's going. I don't know.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let's do a little book in here. Does
Okay.
MJF go in with those dudes, and then he's the reason that they lose the titles?
No, because then I think they'd look like stupid baby faces. They got to be the ones to turn on MJF. Or unless they look like
And then
idiots.
who does MJF? Who's his boys running into the ring, backing him up?
Well, no, he feuds with Lashley and then Shelton. Or Shelton and then Lashley. I think that's what you do. You do
All
two.
right, I can see that.
Yeah, and then you do.
Yeah, I can see that, but it's just the shits, because you know how every match will end with MJF getting beat down, and then they'll bring Adam fucking Cole back out.
No, they won't. No. I think Adam Cole.
I'm so glad I remember that fucker's name.
Wow, way to
Yeah,
go.
dude,
you remembered somebody's name that you watch a lot over the last couple of
No,
years.
but they had their history too. And I'll be
Yes.
like, yeah, let's run the Adam Cole MJF shit again.
Ollie,
Which we got tired of a year ago.
what did you give it as a star?
I'll give it a 2. I mean, it was just a match.
Yeah.
I mean, but I agree with you that it's bad booking.
Yeah.
Like, there's no real win out of it.
No.
Because nobody was with Dustin and Sammy. Like, it's just, and I don't know why the match wouldn't be for both belts.
like you said, Hack, you don't do lose wins. You only do win wins. And this is a lose win.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as that, it's just a lot, and you probably could have did with it.
No,
without
this
on
was
the
a
paper-
lose-lose.
without on the pay per view anyway. So
Yeah.
That's a lose-lose, dude. That's
agree.
not a lose-win, win-lose. That's a lose-lose right there.
What do you give it?
We've already said it. I don't know. 3.25.
3.25. Ty, what do you give it?
I've been his biggest critic, but I actually think Lashley might be doing the best work of his career right now during this run with the Hurt Syndicate.
I don't disagree with
You
that.
liked his Dominator?
I think
Good job?
Lashley's doing good.
Yeah, so do I. I think he is too.
And he's jacked out of his freaking
Oh, he's in
mind.
great shape.
He's shitty at it, but he's actually selling. But he's actually selling and giving people stuff, which I think is actually in turn making him possibly a better worker, which never happened before in WWE. So, yeah, but I'll give it a 2 overall, just because of the lose-lose situation.
Yeah, he's not chewing people up. Like, he's
Well,
giving
in
a look.
WWE, that was his character.
Yeah, just
You
chew
know
him
what
up.
I mean? When they were building him up to the 23 WrestleMania, the one that I was in.
He wrestled Umaga.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they were building him to be a monster. You know what I mean? He wasn't supposed to be selling.
And now it's a
anything.
little like he's still a
gotta
monster,
realize
but it's a
that.
little bit different.
Right.
It's a little bit different.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah. Up next on the show was the AEW Continental title match between Kazuchika Okada and Speedball Mike Bailey. So I know what you said earlier, Hack, about like us knowing the results of matches so many times and how that doesn't matter. There is not a single doubt in my mind that Okada was going to win this match, and yet they both showed up and showed out in this.
Let's do it. And freaking the crowd was with it.
Totally.
The crowd was with that kid, even though they knew he couldn't win.
Right. We all know Okada is not dropping the belt to Speedball Mike
In a
Bailey here at
million
Double or
fucking
Nothing.
years.
Right? It's not happening. But Speedball was so good, and Okada's selling in this.
Oh, well, you remember when you said that dead leg sell? Okada's doing it now. Everybody's doing it.
It's great.
It's not a big bump anymore. It's
collapse.
down.
It's a different kind of sell. And
Okada's sell was great. This whole match.
Okada's selling in this was fantastic. Yeah. Oh, the Ty just did the finger. The finger stuff, you bitch. The drop kicks that he was doing, like. Again,
Dude, he might get a hair higher than I used to on my drop kicks.
Don't you ever put yourself in the sense.
When I was doing a drop kick at the arena,
control.
we used to have to learn air traffic control because I was getting up so high.
Oh God. You putting yourself in the same sentence as
Okada's got a
Okada.
beautiful drop.
I don't know, the one off the top rope and the guy's head's like 3 feet above the top rope and he just freaking tags him.
I love the shotgun one he busted out too in this.
He's great.
Oh my god,
that dude is great.
They were doing some arm work to start, and then Bailey was doing into his crane kick gimmick with the other leg, and then went for a triangle moonsault to the floor. In the ring, he was kicking him a bunch. Okada caught one, took him down with a dragon leg screw whip.
Dude, at this point, I'm thinking Okada's just having a night off.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking at this point right now that this match gets better and better and better.
Same. I'm kind of like, because Okada has this switch where he decides, I don't know, I'm just going to take it easy tonight or whatever, or I'm going to have like an old school New Japan Okada match. And I don't know if he's feeling it in the ring with the guy or how he's feeling personally or whatever. But I know we've been talking about it with him for a while since he's been in AEW. It's like taking the sports car out on the highway and seeing what you can max it out at. And I think we're starting to see Okada get to that. And I think if you do Omega and him at All In, I think you can get Okada up to 125 again. Like I think you can hit that again. I really do.
The best thing about that match was in my wrestling mind, it made so much sense, the build. After like the slow first 5 minutes, they're doing absolutely nothing. But it was like a build. A lot of times you'll have a match that like they're building, but then something makes no sense, and then they're down here and they got to start again. His shit is just like boom, 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 dude.
And he's
that dude.
he's a master at it.
Him and Omega, I want to see again.
Oh, you're finally on board. A couple weeks ago, you were poo-pooing it, but now you're on board.
Was he?
Yes, you were. You
Poo-poo those two.
Wasn't he poo-pooing it?
No,
There was
Ty.
a bunch of poo-poo.
Oh, you were poo-pooing it. Yeah.
I want somebody to hear that playback right now.
Poo-poo platter, poo-poo
I am not a fucking pussy, but I guarantee
You're
you that I didn't say that.
You're definitely a pussy. We know that.
I never. Those two were the greatest matches ever.
If there's one thing we know on the Sandman podcast, it's a pussy. And,
And it reeks in here.
yeah. Yeast infection, I think.
Yeah, it reeks in here.
And an IR. Is that what that's called? It's some track.
UTI.
IT. There's something for you.
Yes, UTI.
I got it all, baby.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
it.
we bring it all to you here in
Yeah.
the Sandman podcast.
I think you brought it back from New York. I don't know.
I think you sort of had the FTR in your head, or UTI, FTR.
I love that Okada cut him off with a neck breaker, and he went up for the elbow drop, and then Speedball cradled him off that with a middle finger, or cradled him off the middle finger for a 2 count, which was great. He did a Falcon Arrow. He went up for a shooting star, but Okada got his knees up, which was he drilled him with it. Okada hit him with a great body shot. I love when do you see a guy sound like a body blow like that? It made a great sound too. And then Speedball was hitting him with a ton of kicks.
Dude, those fucking flips landing his knees in Okada's gut, that was all good stuff.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
He hits that in, then he hit a spinning kick in the corner. Okada missed the drop kick, and then Speedball hit a backflip knee drop, and then he walked into just a drop kick that was wild. He went for a Rainmaker, but that was countered by a kick, and he went for a running kick, and he went for a pin, but Okada's hand went for the ropes, and the ref, at the same time as he's counting 3, sees the hand. That was very, very hitchy. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think you had to do it. It was clearly planned, I thought. It looked like it was planned.
The 3...
Yeah, I thought it was.
I think it was a botch.
I thought it was planned the way that they if that was a fucking botch, they did a fucking phenomenal job of covering that.
Taz was like, I guess the tie goes to the hand on the ropes.
Not even talking about the commentators.
I'm talking about the runner.
I'm talking about
that's what he
said.
I know, yeah, but he was talking with baseball terms.
I'm talking about the workers and the ref himself in the ring, not even the commentators. I thought they did, if that was in fact a botch, they did a great job playing it off, because that looked like it was planned to me.
But to me, every pay-per-view, I think there's a 3 count that should have happened.
Well, you're
Honestly. No, that's bullshit. I think 3 count. No. My point is that the ref knows you're kicking out. You know you're kicking out. But you're still not kicking out fast enough.
Probably not. Yeah.
And the ref's doing this, which shouldn't happen.
I mean, I think if they want to give it for fodder for Speedball to use in a promo later and be like, dude, I had you beat back in Double or Nothing. Like, I should have beat you. The refs fucked me over. Like, I should be the champion right now. Like, I feel like they could go somewhere with it, even if it was a botch or not. But from there, Bailey hit him with a bunch of kicks. Okada then pulled him into a lariat. He went for the Rainmaker, and then Speedball reversed that into a roll-up, which was great. There was another kick, and then Bailey went up for his Ultimate Weapon, but Okada hit him with a drop kick in midair.
That was fucking awesome.
That was great.
Perfectly timed, and then he hits him with the Rainmaker, brutal Rainmaker, put him down. How long did this one go, Ollie? Like 15?
This was 16.
Okay. I thought the finish was great, and like you said, Hackett, it build and build and build. I really, really love this. I've been so impressed with Mike Bailey since he's come over to AEW. I'm going 4.5 stars for this. Ollie?
I gotta give it 5, I think.
Wow. Yeah,
I mean, dude, it was fucking really good, man.
I know.
Oh, God, it's freaking great.
The hitch with the 3 count's the only reason I'm not going 5.
I don't think it was a botch.
Okay.
I like with Ty because I think there's no way you could fuck that up that bad. If everybody knows what's going on.
I don't know. It is that old slow ref that I hate. But
possible, but just from everybody being like a professional and being like as good as they are, I don't think you could fuck that spot.
Yeah, and to the ref's credit, he was like, "No, we're good. Keep rolling.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
He was like,
even if it was, they covered it up great, and it is what it is, dude. But I mean, yeah, this is 5. I mean, it was pretty damn good match.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't really say anything bad about it.
That was great wrestling. It really was. Hack?
Nah, it's like a 7.
It's like a 7.
Yeah. The match was great.
Yeah, it was.
It's freaking Okada, dude.
Ty?
Yeah, I'm going 4.5. Might sound crazy, but I halfway think Okada actually gave Speedball too much. But I mean, still 4.5 to me. I don't know. Dude,
I get that, Tom.
Okada ate like a shit ton of kicks and gave that. I don't know. I felt like he half-assed. Not like he gave him a little too much offense. I feel like, but to his credit, he did. He wanted to get the kid over. I mean, he got himself over as well. Speedball did, but I don't know. Nitpicking, but still 4.5.
I know Okada is very giving. Like the match he had with Brody King, he's willing to take on a lot
Same
of
with
offense.
Ospreay.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean. Those guys don't care.
Right.
I just thought he gave him a little too much. I think, but other than that, I mean, it's still awesome.
Well, if I was Okada, I would give him a shitload if I'm trying to build him like me and Rhino.
Yeah, that's clearly what he's doing, which is awesome.
If I would have, I told freaking Paul, I want to do a program with this kid, so I want to build him up. So the better Okada makes him look now, the bigger Okada looks when he beats him.
Yeah,
makes sense. Up next on the show is the AEW Women's World Title match between Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa.
Tony's outfit was the greatest thing ever.
Dude, I said the exact same thing. When she came out, I was like, I love her gear,
like
dude.
old school Hollywood look. Yeah, it was good.
I loved it.
The little ruffles on the back.
If you're like a lot of women, if you got a big ass, you're going to try and hide your big ass. She stuck 47 roses on her ass to make it look even bigger. You know what I'm saying? And then she had, because she ain't got big tits either. And then they had them up by her tits. You know what I mean? So it's a perception thing.
It was the ass versus tits match.
It was ass versus tits, and the winner was the fans. This was
all right, Tosh. That's good.
Now, both these girls, like, part of my, I guess...
This was a yarn for me. I just got to say that.
Well, no, part of my issue with this match and is the heel-face structure. Because Mina, as much as, she put her in the ring post figure 4 on Dynamite, she's not a heel. She's a face. And there wasn't a true heel in this match. The work in it was pretty just solid, like a lot of leg work and stuff, but it wasn't like... It didn't have a level, and again, I knew Tony was going to win this, so it wasn't like I was overly concerned with the finish. And I think that was maybe part of the reason I wasn't as interested in it. But I don't know, Hack. What are you gonna say?
If you notice, the promo that Tony cut before the match, all Tony does is put this chick over in the promo.
Yes.
She just puts her over here, puts her over in the fucking like a whole 2-minute promo. You know, so I think that had something to do with why the match was the way it was. I think they have more coming.
Another great promo again by Tony Storm.
Oh,
never misses.
Never misses as a promo ever.
Dude, she just put this girl over the whole promo.
If you wanted to see me again, you could have just called.
There was some fun.
Yo, Luther, did he seem as fat as you fucking out there, Tosh?
No, I think he looked a little
Dude,
svelte.
he looked bigger. Wait, you thought he looked svelte?
Yeah, I think the boots.
Did you think
I think
he
the
looked
boots.
fat?
I
The boots
honestly
make
really
you look-
didn't notice one way or the other.
Ollie? I thought Luther looked fat.
The boots.
I think he looked the same.
Well,
way he
maybe
looks
it's
today.
because he didn't have his jacket on, you know,
Maybe.
because he was doing so much in the match. I guess he got rid of his jacket because he was out there with the vest.
I thought the boots were thinning for him. I thought that was a good.
Why haven't you tried it?
Wow! Ty! Wow!
It's the-
Oh my God, Steve Carino! Wow! There.
It's the spring. I'm not wearing my Timbs right now.
Sabu would.
Yeah, Sabu would do
Shout out
shorts, right?
Sabu,
Sure,
baby.
right? The spot on the floor was interesting with Luther, where she like dove over him. I thought that was funny, and then I loved Tony using him as a step
As a
stool.
step,
dude.
yeah.
Back in the ring.
Amazing.
That shit just fucking
I
pops
expected
me.
more though when he was there. When she gave him the ball shot, Luther was down on all four. She kind of just rolled over his back. You know what I mean? I thought there was something bigger going to happen there.
I
Yeah.
thought she could have did the same thing by like jumping off his back and then did the spin and
Yeah,
he did
jump
something
rather
like
than
that.
the roll.
It was a little weird, whatever it was.
Yeah,
but
the landing was a little screwed up too.
Then back in the ring, there was a figure four, a bunch of figure four spots.
Okay, hold on. Oh my God. Tell me my first note on this match. What is it, you guys? You just mentioned a figure four. Think
Wrong-
about legs.
Wrong leg on the figure four.
Dude, they worked the right leg the whole match. Except on a figure four. Which makes no sense. Tony's right leg got worked the whole match. But the girl did the figure four 3 different times, which you're working the opposite. You're working your left ankle instead of a right leg then.
I didn't even notice that.
I know, but they
You're
worked
a
the right
worker.
leg the whole match. Did you notice that, Alan?
I noticed they were working the right leg the whole match because you know me, I'm a stickler for that
Right.
shit. I watch. That's
Yeah,
what
then
watching.
Tony sold it, going back, tries to run, had to sell it,
But
goes
in my
back to
mind,
kicking it.
a figure four is you're kind of working both legs.
Because it's stretched.
Yeah, but
So,
I mean,
like,
okay, but if you,
you know-
do the figure four, how's Tony supposed to be walking? She's got her right leg that she can barely stand on. You're going to figure four 3 different times in the match.
Right.
Just these little things
Yeah.
that just irk me a little bit.
Well, you get the worker's perspective, man. That's important.
That's usually something I'd pull out though.
You always mention the left side.
Yeah.
Like that's the side that the workers you guys always went for. So.
Or whoever, I'm just saying, or whatever side you're working, make sure you stick
Stick
to that
to it.
fucking side. Yeah.
That's it.
Tony hit a pair of Germans, and then Mina drop kicked her in the knee. Tony hit Sky High, which I always like what she uses. She went for another figure four, but Tony made the ropes. Mina hit her with a sling blade, and then a glamorous driver for a 2 count. Tony went with the hip attack, but Mina rolled into her for another figure four. Tony got to the ropes. She hit her big package on her for 2, and then a Storm Zero to keep the belt. How long did this one go, Ollie?
This was 15.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. This is more like a TV match or anything, and it's building up to the all-in match between Mercedes and Tony, where Tony's going to have a great heel to go with her as a true baby. That's, I think, like what they can do together, and the build up to that match. I'm very excited to see what they do over the course.
Tony and the CEO?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do.
Oh, Tony could carry that chick through a half hour of great shit.
I don't think it's carrying Mercedes. You say this about Mercedes all the time.
I don't think so.
All right.
I think she's very
So
capable
you
of her
have to
own.
respect my wrestling eye, right?
I always do.
So remember when we first started talking about the CEO and she came in and she got that $1 billion
Tell us
contract?
it's about who she works.
Yeah, strength of opponent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, thank God I
just
just cut off like 2 minutes of that future story that was going on.
Now, that would have taken me like 30 seconds. I'm not a pussy here. I would have got done that.
Overall, though, for this match, I'm going to go 3 stars with it. I think they have a better match in them. I think
10 times better match.
yeah, absolutely do it.
This match was the shit.
I don't think it was the shit. This is a 3-star match. It was a perfectly fine match. It was fun. The crowd was into it. It wasn't great, though. Ollie, what do you give it?
Yeah. I'm like hovering in between, like, yeah, probably like a little over 2.5, like 2 3/4. I mean, like you said, they definitely have a better match. Nothing was bad. It's like you said in the beginning, it's kind of thrown off a little bit because nobody's really a heel. And to me, it looked like Mina was kind of trying to work a little heelish and do like heel things, but it's not really getting over. Because,
Working somebody's leg is a heel thing.
Yeah, but it's like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, they got a better match.
Yeah.
So, 2 3/4 it is.
Hack.
Oh, but, I hate to freaking say it, but it's like a 1 to me.
Really?
I was utterly and thoroughly disappointed in this whole match.
Wow.
I really was.
Even the kiss at the end.
No, that ain't gonna save it. No, dude, the match was horrible.
Oh,
Not horrible. I expected more. I expected way more. That's why I could give it a 1. I expected way, way, way more out of that match.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about a 2.5 to me. We've all said, I think they got. I wish they would have. I wish the work in the ring reflected the friendship and the angle that they had more. I feel like they didn't dive into that aspect of why the hell you guys are even doing this in the first place.
Great point.
Well, it's kind of hard if you take the Mariah May thing out of the equation. Because Mariah May's contract's up, you hear a lot of whispers of her going to WWE. That's a big
Which is where she should go.
Well, that's a big part of the story of Tony, Mina, and Mariah. And if you can no longer, well, not that you can't.
But does your average fan understand that?
I think your AEW fan does.
I just thought you had more spots that you could have done, like where you were like. One of them was like in a fucking pickle, like, should I do this or should I not do that? Like, there's other things, like, play to the story a little bit more, like, be indecisive, and then.
I know, but how? Using Luther? Like, what else? What other tool are you going to use in a match to get that over?
Well, cheat.
I think it needed Mina to go more healer than she did.
Like maybe like foot on the ropes while she's pinning her, or
cheat somehow. You know what I'm
pull her hair, and the ref catches it,
or something in the match triggering her to get more violent.
Yeah, something like play into that friend. I didn't feel like they worked the friend thing. Like
no, they're going farther than this. That's why I think the match was so bland.
Maybe
I think they're going to work a couple more pay-per-views.
Well, they kissed at the end and made up, and we're all lovey-lovey. So, no, I'm just saying. So, like that to me, just like there was no like Mina turn on her at the end. You know what I'm saying?
But there's
like,
something in there.
I mean,
I got you.
Well,
maybe they win tag titles.
The next pay-per-views, they're gonna go right into Tony Storm and Mercedes.
Right.
The next pay-per-view's in a month.
Maybe Mina turns on her for the end of that match. I don't know. Who knows? It'll be interesting.
Right,
I'm interested to see what happens with the Mercedes and Tony direction. I think that's a big, big time, and I think there's a lot of potential in that program. The heel face structure that we talk about sometimes, where it's not there. That match certainly has clear cut baby heel.
I'm not even so sure that would be a program.
Oh, I think it is.
Well, no.
You think Tony and Mercedes is a one-off?
As in sense they're going to be married for a year at every pay-per-view. I think it's a one-off, and then they would split to different people.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you don't want to use up that much talent in one match every pay-per-view. You're better off splitting your talent.
Is the match going to be for both belts?
That's a good point too.
That's a great point. Yeah, I don't know.
It should be.
It should be for all of Mercedes belts.
Right.
You put them on the line. Yeah.
That's a great idea, Ollie.
I think it's just for the AEW women's title because she won the tournament, and the winner of the tournament
Right.
gets an AEW women's
Right.
heavyweight championship match.
Oh,
It's
so
not-
yeah,
it's not like that was
so
created.
she wins.
So she won.
So
the
right now
tournament.
you just booked it. Freaking our girl wins.
Tony.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah,
girl.
so-
Our
so-
girl.
Just to get one of those belts.
I
How many others does she have?
No, I don't think it's going to be for anything Mercedes has.
I think
That's my point.
I think
I thought you
Mercedes
just said it
wins.
was going to be for a belt. and
No,
it's from a
Tony has the championship, the heavyweight championship belt. Mercedes won a tournament to get a shot at the AEW championship belt that Tony has. That's why I don't think it's going to be belt for belt, because it wasn't created that way. It was created because she won a tournament for a shot
And
at the
that's why
heavyweight
she
belt.
ran
Yeah.
off so quick after she won her match. All right, I get it.
Yeah.
Up next on the show is the Anarchy in the Arena match between Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, Willow Nightingale, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Shibata taking on the Death Riders, Matt and Nick Jackson. Wow. What a fucking... I mean, I like the creativity in this match, the entrances, everything about this was unique. AEW has really stumbled on their own version of like a big gimmick match that's
It's like their own version of War Games.
yes, but it's different. And you get the ECW element with the music playing the whole time like New Jack would do, right? And you get all the built-in storylines and stuff, and it's just complete chaos and nonsense, but tons of violence, and I don't even know how to begin to review this match because so much fucking happened in this match. And how long did this go, Ollie?
Fucking 35 minutes.
35 minutes. And
I thought it was like 8 weeks.
to your point, Ty, about things going a little bit too long.
That was 15 minutes too long.
Yeah, I'm
I
kind of...
would agree with that.
But I still enjoyed it the whole time. I was never bored. I was never on my phone during this match at all. I loved it, and I loved the mute. Like, all right, I guess first off is the entrances, man. With
Swerve bringing out the Predator looked awesome.
was fucking great, right?
And the Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks as the founding fathers was such great heel shit with their faces.
amazing.
With their faces on Mount Rushmore and their outfits. Like, the fact
Yeah.
that their own faces were on the Mount Rushmore was fucking hilarious. And then their outfits. The fact that they've wrestled 35 minutes in this fucking chaos in those outfits, looking like they're coming out for the Revolutionary War, was so fucking funny to me.
And doing like the swerve dance that they were
the
doing
gritty.
in those,
So
the gritty
great.
in those.
They both got close to it, but
No, but it's just hilarious them in those outfits
it's
doing
funny.
that.
It's better that they fuck it up.
Yeah.
So Joe wasn't on the intros, right? He didn't come out with the ops. But then Claudio's in the crowd, and he just appears behind Claudio, and then the fucking match starts, and the music at first is the Young Bucks, like, marching band music, like you're going up to Valley Forge
Yeah,
or
like the
something.
flute. Yeah, like
the flute is playing, and then Kenny got on the mic, and he requested a music change, and we get the Pointer Sisters with "I'm So Excited" playing, which
was
is
good.
fucking hilarious too. And then they're going around for a while, and then Kenny on the mic then he says, "I want to hear some 2000s alternative rock music," which popped me huge. Just it sounded like such a dork when he said that. And then you hear "Drowning Pool," "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor."
Is that alternative?
I don't think it is. I think it was more like metal, kind of. I don't know what the genre is of that, but
Best part of that is like after it stopped, and then it would just be like, let the bot. It would just restart, and it would be like, ah!
it was fucking great. Like, I absolutely loved that song. I wasn't expecting that song to play at
Neither
all.
was I.
But fucking, it was.
I don't think anybody was. The crowd popped huge for it.
Crowd went absolutely nuts for it. Like,
Wasn't that the ECW, like
The
the
one night-
WWE,
one night
ECW,
stand?
or the one night
Even
stay?
shit.
yeah, that was. I mean, that's just the song everybody knows for video packages and just you know. There was just so much shit going on. Moxley had a fork. He was using that on Will Hobbs. Kenny was about to go for a dive off the balcony, but Yuta cut him off.
all right, please let's not go through all this shit.
I was thinking that
Well, I'm trying to think
I
big
don't
spot.
care. But what I do want to say is I thought they did utterly fantastic. It is so hard to get so many people on one page.
Well, they split screen it into like 4.
minutes.
Well, and they would do like the 4 different like views, like red zone almost, like where you would
quad
follow.
box?
Yeah, you would have like the quad box red zone, like where you're following like 4 different angles, like.
Yeah, they just did a fantastic freaking job of timing. The timing was like unbelievable to me, because I like me Dreamer against the Dudleys in
One night stand.
yeah, and there's 15 different people doing run-ins. It's kind of like that, you know what I mean? You got to know your timing. And these guys, you got people on this side of the building, people on this side of the building, people like spread out.
People
you know what I mean?
outside the building.
Right, and I thought they just did an unbelievable freaking great job. And just all of it was great. Even when they got back into the ring and all the timing with everybody.
I actually thought when
It
they got
was
in the ring.
great.
I actually thought when they got in the ring was the best part of the whole.
It was
the
great.
best part of the whole entire
You know,
thing.
just people knowing their time.
Yeah. Oh, this is fucking.
20 people on the same fucking page.
I can't like Willow was her ear was on the earring.
Oh,
chain
that
to
was
the-
great.
Great spot.
Unbelievable.
I love the jack that Swerve came off of, and the timing of the music.
That was great too. The swerve coming in,
Driving
on the
him
freak-
over,
yeah, that's
flipping
good
off
shit.
there. I'm trying to think of other spots here in this match.
Didn't Briscoe come out of the ambulance?
Oh, that was later. I loved how Hobbs is rocking a big blacked and Jack t-shirt.
Same with
And then-
Willow.
And then Willow, when she
Yeah.
finally undoes the overalls, has on the big blacked and Jack t-shirt. That was a great spot. Got a huge reaction.
Dude, every time Willow did, all right, here's the thing. Willow did like 3 great things, but there might have been like 12 minutes in between them. They would give her a spot, boom, she gets a big thing, then she's down nowhere. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, give her another spot, boom, 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 she's down for nowhere. 5 minutes later, we're going into the finish. It was poetry, dude. It was freaking poetry, that shit.
I loved all the staple gun spots, the way that they were getting into them and the different reversals of them, and Swerve goes low on the Young Buck for a huge pop, and all the stuff with the staple gun. He got his tongue stapled, which was fucking insane. And then Hack's rolling his eyes on that one. Omega was then running wild with a bunch of snapdragons on everybody, and I loved him teasing it on Marina. She was acting like he wouldn't do it, and then he finally fucking drilled her
Yes,
with
that
it.
was good.
It was fucking great. There was a ton of stuff. There was Willow hitting the Meltzer driver on Nick Jackson. That easily could have and probably should have been the finish to this. Like that would have been.
I thought it was gonna be. Yeah.
That would have been a great. I would have been 5 stars right there.
I wasn't buying it yet.
I would have been fine with that right there, honestly. And then they probably did 10 minutes after that.
Easy.
Like that was just. They had a muscle buster and then a choke on Moxley, but then Gabe Kidd ran in.
I thought we weren't going through all this shit. Come on, dude. I don't want to hear all this shit.
I got to give you to the finish here, man.
It's horrible. Who cares?
Briscoe ran.
Get right to the finish then. No, I'm serious, Tosh.
I am too. Omega hit the.
Nobody else wants to hear this shit.
Everybody wants to hear
It's a
this.
fucking 40-minute match.
There was the one-winged angel on
You're
Matt
fucking
Jackson
killing me.
through an exploding table, and then Swerve used thumbtack Iversons. For the,
Stupidest thing ever.
I loved it.
Took way too long.
I loved it.
Was
Well, they had
horrible.
already did 39 and a half minutes. Why not do
Nah,
more?
it was horrible.
I loved it.
And he barely even touched him when he hit his move on him. Literally, did he? He hit him with his heels, not where all the freaking shit was up on the toes. It was horrible.
You think the person in the last row is noticing that?
No.
Oh, okay. I loved it. I'm going 5 stars for it. Ollie, what do you give it?
I'm gonna give a 4. Probably just a little long. I mean, I know you're doing a whole bunch of spots and there's a shit ton of people in the match, but you could do all that shit and with 10 minutes off of that match.
Yeah. Hack
11.
and 11. There you go.
That shit was poetry. It really was.
I
You
love
guys don't know what it's like to be out there and get all that shit together with so many different personalities. It's like, seriously, how, like, all right, here we go. Suppose you got 10 of your friends. Pussies.
I'm gonna go with a 3.
A 3? Really?
Yeah, The stuff in the crowd and all that, I don't know. It doesn't really do anything for me. I thought the best part of the whole match was when they all actually got in the ring and started doing spots.
Easily.
So, like, the first, 25 minutes of it, other than, like, the music and, like, some other shit, like, I don't know. That doesn't really do it. That doesn't really deserve a star rating, almost, in my opinion. Like we say when we watch the old shows with, like, the New Jack and, like, whatever, like, how can you give it a rating? Like, that's kind of how I look at that aspect of it.
I never even thought about it. That's actually a good point.
There was way more creativity in this match than like some of the Gangsters matches.
Yeah, sure.
That's why.
Yeah, sure.
I love the spectacle of this.
But
it was such a spectacle.
But yeah, just I thought the shit in the ring was the best part. After that, but yeah, 3's good for me.
Up next on the show was the Don Callis family: Takeshita, Josh Alexander, and Kyle Fletcher, taking on Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly.
Sorry, Tosh. Would you, now that this match is going on, and obviously it's Ospreay, I halfway thought that I would have put that Anarchy in the Arena on first, instead of that spot.
Are you kidding me? I thought it was over. I was getting ready to stop watching after that match, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why is there saying there's so much more left? I thought that was the end of the
I just don't know if there's a better spot to put it in than maybe possibly first.
All right, but let's think about it as a card totally. If you put that first, what do you go second to the girls' match?
I don't know.
Second's got to be a depth spot match, so you'd probably put the 6-man tag still second. 6-man tag should follow that. Whatever you want.
I know,
because this next match that we're about to talk about is in a fucking impossible spot.
Totally.
Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking. How are you following that?
The crowd was absolutely dead during this match
until all the run-ins post-match, which brought them back up.
Which was fine. But like, they were exhausted. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even when you get to the main event, I felt like they were a little down.
The first 10.
They were a little like down because
Ospreay ain't gonna let that happen.
It's been 4 hours, and B, you just witnessed this 40-minute fucking like.
Well, I don't understand. Well, besides all the shit that we don't like about the book and why you would put that match there, it makes no sense.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Where else would you put
End with it?
End with it?
I think what they wanted to do was to put the focus on the Hangman story going into All In and hype up All In. So they want to end with that.
I'm tired of this Hangman story.
So my point is I think I could only put it first. Though.
He's great, but it's what they're doing with him, man.
It's a redemption story. Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say. Just because it's like this match is like fucking. It's a win. It's a lose-lose.
But for a card construction, if you're putting on the Anarchy of the Arena, when do you put it on? And I think it's either first or last. And but where they put this match though, which was third to last, it did kind of work for the show because this is going to be the death spot match. This is the bathroom popcorn, whatever.
Yeah,
this is a stretcher.
And I don't even know why it's even on the fucking show, to be honest with you.
This match is the definition of a TV match, and it's probably like a collision match. Like it's not even a Dynamite match. Like. And I get it. You want to give these guys reps, and you want to give them matches on pay-per-view. Like Takeshita's Takeshita's one of the best 5 workers in the company.
You don't need reps.
Fletcher's one of the best 5 workers in the company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know. This match had no business being on pay-per-view,
and it didn't have a chance to succeed, really.
No, and it wasn't bad. I mean, it went a little too long.
Right, here we go.
Yeah,
I think they outthought themselves.
Probably.
They were like, we're going to do, because I think the Young Bucks are running shit.
No, they're not. But okay,
who is then?
Tony Khan.
Okay, Tony Khan put this whole match together.
Yeah.
You seriously think
put this whole show together?
No, this match.
What are you talking? The Anarchy in the Arena match?
Of course, you idiot.
Oh, don't call me an idiot. I'm not. We're talking about the 6-man
you're
after.
A pussy.
Oh,
you're a pussy, not an idiot. No, but dude, who do you think booked this?
Who do I think booked the Anarchy in the Arena? I think everybody in the match. Yeah.
I don't know about everybody, but I would say like 5 guys. You know what I mean? And I think
the Bucks are absolutely 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then, dude, I think a guy like Samoa Joe, even though he didn't do a lot, I think he would have more to do with the agent in this match. Somebody like him, you know what I mean? But it was really two different matches. There was a 15-minute freaking whatever, and then they came back with the last, like, how long was it?
It was 35 minutes.
Yeah, but it was two different matches. And Joe, and I don't know, to me it seemed like Samoa Joe was like the agent here with the Young Bucks.
Interesting.
Because I know him.
Okay. For this 6-man tag match, though, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I don't know if there's like...
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, this was kind of just
It's
whatever.
a lose-lose situation. It was a whatever match. It's like...
Fletcher finished it with the brainbuster. And how long did this go, Ollie? Like, this did not need to go as long as...
12:48.
This did not need to go 12:48. It could have went 6, and you could have accomplished everything in that. After the match, the Callis family was all beaten up on them, and then we had a run-in from Brody King, Ishii, and Tanahashi. Got a huge reaction coming out. And for a cool-down match, I thought it took way too long. I'm going to go 2 stars for it. Ollie?
Yeah, I'll go 2. I mean, like you said, it's a lose-lose. It's not that like these guys aren't good or anything that are in the match, and I think this could main event a Dynamite or a Collision or anything like that, and anyone would go home happy.
Yeah.
With it, so I think it actually could have been without on the pay-per-view, but yeah, 2.
Yeah. Hack.
What he said, basically.
Okay. So,
2 for me as well.
Up next on the show was the Owen Hart final between Will Ospreay taking on Hangman Adam Page. And did you guys...
I'm like, thank God. I literally yelled down to Ollie, I'm like, is this the last freaking match? Please tell me so.
Did you notice the lighting looked weird for this?
I thought it was a little bit dark,
Yeah.
it was a little bit darker.
I don't know why it was. I don't know. That threw me off. That was the one thing I had first started.
Maybe trying to give it like a main event type feel different. I
But
don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I hate when they mess with the lighting and just leave whatever lighting you have for the entire show. It was definitely different from what they had earlier in the show, right?
Yeah, early in the show, shit's bright. Dude, when you're doing that like TV like situation, shit is bright as hell. You're in the ring and it's hot. You could, yes, that's how bright it is when you're doing TV.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hot in the ring.
Yeah, because when you're they're in a smaller fucking atmosphere right there. Dude, those lights are hot as shit.
This match, man, they did fuck ton in this, dude. There was a springboard elbow drop, put Hangman on the floor. There was a bunch of back suplexes. Ospreay hit him with a corkscrew kick and then a space flying tiger drop. There was the rack bomb that Styles used to do, which is a great move. I love Ospreay's moveset. It seems like he just has everything in his repertoire.
Literally.
Like could do anything. There was a backdrop to the floor. Hangman went back with a clothesline and then a moonsault to the floor. In the ring, there was a powerbomb into a sharpshooter. Bunch of chops and everything. There was an...
Dude, this is how I felt about this match.
You didn't like it.
I know, but it's the first time supposedly they ever meet, but I'm like,
I loved it. So
it wasn't great to me.
It was
I
to me.
expected great from those two.
I thought this was great.
I thought it was really good, but not great.
I thought it was great. There was...
I thought it was very well built.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, which...
start like we talked about the Okada match.
I was just going to say that, Ty.
Start to end, a little bit slow, a little bit kind of brutal, it was kind of brutally back and forth, slow and methodical, and it just picked up speed as the match went on.
And the escalation of moves that they were doing to each other, he went for the angel wings, and then Page went up for the moonsault. And then Ospreay just drilled him with the fucking hidden blade, which he rolled out to the apron, which was great. There was the Styles Clash off the apron to the floor, which looked fucking... Hangman's head hit first on the floor, which I thought that looked fucking brutal.
All right, how are you supposed to take that move?
I thought he did a good job of releasing his legs early enough.
He did a good job of protecting himself. And making it look good.
Yeah, dude, I rewound that thing 5 times, and I'm like, because I'm watching it, not live, and I'm seeing it, and I'm like, And then I saw him hit, and then I'm like, well, let me back that up a little bit. So Will was, if you noticed, what's his name's head was fucking like halfway back on the apron of the ring. So they knew that they wanted to be short, not to be long. But then when he hit with his knees.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, he hit with his knees, not with his head.
I was concerned at first when I was watching it. But
I thought his knee. I think he did a good job of releasing his knees first, so he got.
No, dude, I don't know. I would say they would have practiced that with the crash mat.
Probably.
Like before the show, you know what I mean? Because I don't. When he set up for it, I'm like, no fucking way he's doing this move.
it's the ultimate trust.
I'm like, no
in the guy you're in
way
there
he's
with.
doing this fucking move.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, but you're in the position to protect yourself no matter what he's doing. If you're taking the move, that's why you stick your hips in the fucking air and you take it with your knees and your shoulders.
That's a good point. He beat the count out, and then he walked back into an Os cutter, and then another hidden blade, and then Ospreay's like pissed off at this point. They're going to, then they go out to the outside. This is where the table collapsed on them before he could actually hit. I think they were going for the Deadeye, and man, it looked brutal when they fell down there, and I was like, ugh.
You thought that looked brutal?
I thought it looked like it hurt Ospreay.
No, it was an easy landing.
You think that was an easy landing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Page then hit a Deadeye to him on what was left on the floor there, and he goes back in the ring, and then he went for a buckshot, but Ospreay backed up to avoid it, which I thought was really good. He took off his elbow pad, and he goes for the hidden blade, and this was like the best part of the match to me. It was like a old Western showdown. They meet in the middle, and then Page just drilled him with the buckshot first, which easily could have been the finish for me.
But they still went on.
Right.
That should have been the fucking finish.
Yeah, I would have, like, for me right there, it's like, okay.
I'm like, yeah, please.
We're like a Western showdown.
Yeah, but you're only saying please because it's at the end of a long pay-per-view. I don't think you'd be saying that if you were watching that match at the end of a long
but
pay-per-view.
he just said that he would have been as satisfied if it just ended right there. I'm just saying I would have been satisfied with the end right there.
I think
Even though I'm pissed, I'm still watching this shit. You know what I mean? But I was hoping that was the finish.
Then from there, they're out in the apron. He went for another hidden blade and a Stormbreaker, and then another hidden blade that missed, and they're both down. Ospreay then went for a V-trigger, and he goes for the one-winged angel, and then Page reverses that for the JML driver, and then another buckshot, but Ospreay got through that one, and then Page hits him with another lariat and a second buckshot for the finish finally. I mean, he really put him down. He had to put him down with all that. I love this match. I think the story that they're telling is that Ospreay just like, he's right there, but for some reason he can't win that big one. And when he finally does, it's going to mean even more for it. Like, I loved Page leaving and then coming back to him in the ring and shaking his hand. That was the official, like,
Hated that.
I love that. That was the official.
Hated it.
You always hate when people handshake, though.
You
so
do,
I don't-
'cause you're a
I
pussy.
know, but dude, they've been building fucking what's his name up for the past year to be this killer. You don't send him back into the ring to shake hands with the dude he just beat. Makes sense? Look, where was Page 2 years ago?
He was world champion.
Wasn't he doing the swerve thing?
Yeah, he was feuding with Swerve. He was a world champion.
No, I mean fucking. The guy gets Ospreay.
Yeah, Hangman.
Yeah, Hangman.
Oh yeah, fucking no, dude. He's got a missile up his ass in the last 6 months. You guys haven't seen that?
Well, yeah, he's being. This is his.
He was nowhere before that.
This is his redemption arc, Hack. He's getting built up again to this point, and he's also not just a heel anymore. He's like making amends for it, almost like we did with Swerve on the Dynamite a couple weeks back. Like, this is Page. Is Page gonna? I don't know. First of all, for the match, I'm gonna drop 5 stars for it. I fucking loved it. I thought it was great. I absolutely loved it. Ollie.
Yeah, I'm going 5 for it. I mean, I loved it. I mean, like Ty said, I thought it was structured really well, like the build of the match, and like as you kept going, it kept getting a little bigger. And I mean, I know it was a long match, but definitely not like Ospreay's usual pace. It was a lot slower
Yes.
than it normally was.
First time working.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that or to really emphasize the struggle that these two are going to have trying to beat each other.
That's a great point.
And I mean, dude, Hangman was great in the match. I love his look, his like crazed look that he's got going on. I think Hangman needed the win. I'm happy he won. Because I think he needed it, because I don't know where the hell else you would go if he didn't win.
I was shocked he won. I thought Ospreay was going to win this whole time.
I was hoping Hangman won.
Wow.
As much as I love
Because
Ospreay,
his character needed it?
yes, and I think AEW,
Agreed,
and I think
totally,
he's so good that AEW needs him around. And I think he does good work.
So where are they pushing him to? Who are they pushing to Hangman to?
It's him and Moxley for the
At
championship.
All in.
Okay.
It's going to be those two. And does Hangman beat Moxley?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I say no.
it would be fitting. I mean, I think it's a great guy to
I
go with.
say no way.
In Arlington, Texas, the Cowboy does it.
All right, Ollie. I like that.
Oh,
I like
shit.
that.
I like to call the town and everything. Golly. I like that.
Hack, what do you give the match?
Oh, this match was freaking unbelievable. Like a 46.
A 46? That's the best
Dude,
rating
this
you've
match
ever
was
given.
freaking great.
I know, but yeah,
It really was.
You're going, shh.
Yeah, I know, but it's only, I don't know. It's only because I'm 5 hours into the pay-per-view at this point.
Okay. But if it wasn't that, you'd be even more into it.
Oh, no. I'll be on the edge of my seat like that watching this. Those guys are good.
Yeah, they're fucking great.
They're really good.
Yeah. Ty?
Yeah, fully entertained. 5-star for me. I mean, the way they build it up, like we already talked about. And I thought Ospreay was going to win, but like Oliver said, I think Hangman needed the win.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So
Yeah, you called that before with fucking A Knight. You're like, A Knight has to win this match.
because, I mean, how many times are you going to bring Hangman up here just to fucking kick him back down again? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been like that, like, getting to the top, down, getting to the top, down, you know, so.
Yeah.
And Ospreay doesn't get hurt at all from losing.
No.
Right.
No one is even questioning that.
Dude
No,
could pull a
right.
Sandman
No,
freaking
yeah,
box
so-
score out of his ass
Right.
and still win that.
Yeah, I do think that's it. I wasn't expecting it, but now when I'm looking back in hindsight of it, I'm like, that's the right booking decision. So let us know what you thought of AEW Double or Nothing. We will be back next week covering ECW One Night Stand 2006. Heck, you had a moment on that show.
Him and Eugene.
Yeah, you and Eugene. We'll be talking about that one next week on the show. But before we go, Hack, the can of the week or the toast of the week?
I just had a toast of the week, but it left me.
Oh, you pussy.
Yeah. All right. Peace.
Peace.